All right, folks, let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fall 2024 College Essentials Q&A webinar. My name is Sam, and I'll be hosting this event today. So before we get started, I'm going to go over a few housekeeping items for you to keep in mind. So this webinar is being recorded and will be available for you to watch on the HC Hub on-demand webpage in the coming days. We are going to be going through a lot of information, so the recording is good for you to go back and watch it so you have all of that on hand if you need it. We encourage you to engage with the college community throughout this event today by posting into the chat, but please refrain from sharing any personal information such as your home address or your student ID number, and please act respectfully to everyone when engaging in the chat. We also encourage you to ask lots of questions. So if you have a question, we please ask that you post it into the Q&A tab, which can be found along the bottom of your Zoom window. So the chat is more for communicating with your peers and chatting with others. And then the Q&A tab is for asking questions. So if you have a question, please post it into the Q&A tab. All right, folks, so let's go to our agenda here and quickly take a look. So as you can see, we have a lot of presentations to cover. So again, we're going to go through a lot of information, so make sure you're paying attention, but this is being recorded, so you can watch it at a later date if you would like. And again, remember to post all of your questions into the Q&A tab. We'll be going through a few presentations and then pausing for questions. So if you have questions pertaining to a specific department that we just covered, we'll answer some of those questions during the Q&A. All right, everyone, so let's begin with our first college expert. I'd like to hand over the floor now to Brandon from the Registrar's Office. Brandon, over to you.
Thank you, Samantha. My name's Brandon. I'm from the Registrar's Office. I work as an enrollment service representative, and I'm here to talk to you about your Access account, your student portal. Next slide, please. So one of the features you could do on your Access account is to defer your fees, and this will defer your tuition fees for the upcoming semester 3 weeks after the start date. This will get you registered while your OSAP comes in or while you wait to pay the remainder of your fees, and get you your student timetable. Next slide, please. The next option here is the view your timetable page. This is where you can view your timetable for the upcoming semester. If you've already paid your deposit or deferred your fees for Access, you should have your timetable now for the fall semester. If you don't, I'd recommend contacting the Registrar's Office. Next slide, please. So the next feature is the drop add transfer function. This is how you can change your timetable. You can add courses, drop courses, and transfer courses to different sections for the upcoming semester. It's not always available for every course, as some courses only run once per semester, or they may not be available, but you can always contact your program coordinator if the course you're looking to add or transfer to isn't available. Next slide, please. The next slide is the print payment receipts button. This is where you will go to view and print your payment receipts. You'll be able to print any payment you've made through your Access account, and you'll be able to get a PDF copy of it. Next slide, please. The next is the print letters page. This is where you can view, print, or save your returning status, enrollment letters, graduation letters, fee breakdown letters. You can download them right to your computer, and they come on the official college letterhead with Registrar's Office signature. Next slide, please. The next page is your resetting your Access password. So when you're logging in, if you don't remember your password, you can click Forget Your Password. It'll just ask you for some security verification questions, so you can reset your password. And if you have any issues after that, you can always contact the Registrar's Office to help you. Next slide, please. The next one is the profile button. So this is where you're able to update your contact information. We always do require your most up-to-date information in case we're trying to reach you. So you can update everything from your email address to your physical address directly on your Access account. Next slide, please. The next one here is the transfer of credit / exemption. So this is if you've done past work similar to if you've taken a course at a different college, or if you've even taken a similar course right at Algonquin College, you can apply for a transfer of credit or a course exemption. You just have to click the button and follow through the on-screen instructions. Next slide, please. The final page here is just an Access how-to. So it has some useful information, like you could see here, an instruction Access tutorial on how to defer your fees with additional troubleshooting steps, as well as viewing your timetable. So you can see here, it's just a brief video that shows you a walkthrough instruction on, in this case, deferring your fees. Yeah, and it just has if you go to the link there, it just has a Access how-to page with all the information on really everything we talked about today, and tutorials on how to start your college journey. Here are also some other resources. So just a link to be able to log into your Access, the academic calendar link, which shows you all the important dates you're going to need throughout the semester, and then also the registrar's office contact information to contact us through phone or through a ticket submission portal.
Thank you very much, Brandon. And again, folks, that was a lot of information, so make sure you're taking notes, or it says being recorded so you can watch it later, again, if you would like. So next up, we are going to go over to ITS. So Gary, over to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gary, and I'm from ITS at Algonquin College. A part of what we do is to make your transition to college a bit easier. We're here to support students for password resets, software installs, Wi-Fi setup, printer setup, and laptop and software troubleshooting, and much more. Next slide, please. One of the most important things that you will need throughout your time at Algonquin is your network account. You will be able to find your network account on Access once you have completed your registration. To sign in on Access, you will need to enter your student number and your date of birth. You will then need to create a new PIN and a security question. For returning students who forgot their PIN, you will need to give us a call or come in person to reset your PIN. After signing into Access, look for your network account info under Account on the top left-hand side of the page, and you'll find your user ID, initial password, and email address. Next slide, please. Once you have your network account credentials, you'll be able to use many services such as your email, AC Secure Wi-Fi, and Brightspace. When you're trying to sign into any of the Algonquin College accounts, including Wi-Fi, please make sure to read whether they're asking for an email or a username. If they're asking for a username, just enter the first part of your email. Next slide, please. Apps Anywhere is a software delivery application where you will have access to all the software you will need for your courses. You will be able to use the app from anywhere at any time for both Windows and Mac users without having to install the software. Next slide, please. For students who will be learning from home, we have some resources here to make your learning from home an easier adjustment. Please visit our knowledge base where we put together your answers to some of the most frequently asked questions. Next slide, please. Lastly, our Hours of operations are from Monday to Friday at 7:30 a.m. until 8 p.m. And Saturday from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. Please feel free to give us a call, send us an email, or come in person for any technical issues you may have. We are located in the basement of Building C, and we are happy to be able to support you for your needs. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Gary. So folks, we're going to take a quick pause here and answer some questions pertaining to ITS and the RO. So Brandon, I believe this one is for you first. So Brandon, the question is, it's asked, I wanted to ask at the timetable that is available on Access website, will that remain the same for the entire term? So once they receive their timetable, does that change at all, or is that the same for the entire term?
So generally it is the same. However, there are circumstances where your timetable could change. Maybe your classroom number would change, or a holiday would affect your class hours. So one of the features in the view timetable page is that you can select a week by week view. So it's always best just to take a look even at the beginning of the week and make sure everything's how you're expecting it to look.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Brandon. And now, Gary, this one is for you, if you don't mind, really quickly. So I'm just going to pull up the question here. So it is about accessing their Algonquin College email. So first of all, how do they access their email? And can you kind of just give a brief overview on how to set their password and actually log into their email address?
Okay, so to access your Algonquin College email, you just have to enter the Algonquin College email address on Outlook, and then it'll redirect you to the Algonquin College login page for your email. And through the email, there is an option where you can click on your account and then click on View Account. It will then bring you to a new page where there is an option to change a password. Do you mind just tell me what's the other question?
Yeah, and then once they've changed their password, they just log in using that new password, or how does that work?
Yes. So once you have changed the password, you would use the password that you have created to sign into your email. It's the same thing as what you did before. Just sign into Outlook, and it will redirect you to the Algonquin College page.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, Gary. All right, folks, we have a lot more information to cover, so I'm going to move along here. So next up, we have the International Education Center. So I will hand it over to them.
Thank you, Sam. Hello, everyone. My name is Sebastian. I'm an international student advisor with the International Education Center. Next slide, please. So the IEC is here to support all international students throughout their journey at Algonquin College. If you're an international student, welcome today. Some of the services that we offer are listed on your screen right now. They include arrival services, new intake support. We offer guidance on your immigration documents, that is study, work permits, work eligibility in Canada. We offer various workshops on integration, settlement resources, ways in which you can settle successfully in Canada throughout your studies. We have different student orientations. There will be orientations for those who are registered in academic programs, as well as orientations for those who are in English for academic purposes. We also offer various workshops on topics related to immigration. We offer health insurance support. Now, Algonquin College is not it's not the provider of the health insurance coverage that international students receive, but we can help you navigate some of the coverage and questions that you may have. Additionally, we have to assist international students with inquiries related to pro-work withdrawals or program change. Next slide, please. We also offer free peer tutoring hours. These are for academic students only. Let's say that later on, once you start your classes, you find yourself struggling a little bit with one of those courses, you can request from the IAC a peer tutoring letter. This letter will allow you to get some hours free of charge in which you can obtain tutoring for that specific course in which you may be struggling in. We also have the International Peer Mentorship Program. We offer various social and cultural events. There is a big one happening, folks, on the 30th this month, the new International Student Social. We would be delighted for you to stop by and partake in the games. There will be food, prizes, and a chance for you to meet all of your new fellow students. Besides this, we will be running social insurance number clinics on campus. There will be a schedule which will be in the chat, and for you to check. You can get your SIN number right on campus. This makes it much easier than either applying online or having to go to a physical Service Canada location. Additionally, in the topic of this, we do offer constant CRA information sessions, which are important for international students to know about topics related to taxes, income. Do I have to declare my income? So we assist with all of those questions. Next slide, please. iSend app, I love this. This is really important for international students to know. There is an app designed for Algonquin College international students. You can see the instructions here. You can download it from your Google Play or App Store. Make sure that you set the region setting as Canada and choose Algonquin College as the institution. Once you do that, you will be able to access the app where we update it frequently, and we send you direct messages with important information such as IRCC updates and other important dates or information for you to know on the spot. Next slide, please. Advising session for current students. The International Student Advisor team at the IAC is the only team at Algonquin College that can give advice on immigration matters. Some of the questions and some of the topics that we cover in these sessions are found here. They mostly relate to immigration matters related to your studies at Algonquin College. So everything that has to do with your study permit, anything that has to do with your work eligibility, anything that has to do with your ability to come in and out of Canada, these are things that we can assist you with. Next slide, please. Orientation, folks. There is a mandatory orientation happening at the end of this month. We have the August 27th, that's the first session, August 28th, the second session. These sessions, the International Student Orientation, are for international students in academic programs only. You have to attend one of these sessions, either the 27th or the 28th. In addition, if you are in an English for academic purposes program, you have your own orientation, which will take place on August 30th on campus from 9 to 12 p.m. Next slide, please. And Gardney Health Insurance, as I mentioned before, all international students who are enrolled in full-time programs will be covered by Gardney Health Insurance. Part-time international students are covered as well. Keep an eye out from an email sent to your personal account from Gardney, which will have more instructions on how to create your account and how to download that coverage card. That coverage card is what's going to allow you to seek medical attention at a doctor's office, at a clinic, or for you to be able to purchase prescriptions or any other health service that will be covered by Gardney. Next slide, please. Peer tutoring hours, I gave a tidbit on this in the beginning. Students can make the request for free peer tutoring hours through our international student letter request. There will be a link in the chat in which you can make the request directly. Next slide, please. Succeeding Canada webinar series and AC Cafe Brightspace course. So we do offer some webinars that are remaining towards before the term starts. There are 3 more sessions, I believe. The link will be in the chat for you to join. But in addition to this, the AC Cafe Brightspace course will have among different modules, we'll have an international student module, which is very important for you to complete in order for you to be well prepared and know what to expect as an international student starting your journey at Algonquin. Next slide, please. And lastly, make sure you follow our Instagram. Our handle is Algonquin IAC. Ensure you download iCent app, super important. And lastly, through either iCent app or through our Algonquin IAC Instagram account, you can also see our events, which can be found on our IAC events calendar so that you can see all of our events that are coming up. Next slide, please. So that will be it, folks. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you on behalf of the IAC. I would like to warmly welcome you and look forward to meeting all of you. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Sebastian. And folks, that was a lot of information from Sebastian. And I know if you're an international student, it is very overwhelming with everything that you need to learn and know. So please make sure to go to one of those mandatory international education student orientations. They are mandatory and they do go into way more in-depth information about all things international students. So make sure you go to one of those. It is mandatory. So Sebastian, I do have a couple of questions specifically about international education centers. We'll just keep you here for a minute, if you don't mind. So the first question here is, if I am a newcomer, sorry, I did not say that nicely. Let me try again. It is, if I am a newcomer yet permanent resident, do I receive support from the IAC? So I guess they're just asking, does it matter if I'm a newcomer? Does everyone get support from the International Education Center, or do they need to like have specific qualifications or a type of student?
All international students are able to get support from the IAC. Now, whether you are a temporary resident, that is a study permit holder, a visitor record holder, or a work permit holder, we can assist you at the IAC. If you do have permanent resident status, I would suggest that you touch base with us to see how we can assist you and ensure that your file at the college reflects.
Okay, great, thank you. The next one here, Sebastian, is about the SIN clinic. So when a student is coming to the SIN clinic, what should they bring with them? What kind of documents?
Absolutely. The SIN clinic, students must bring their study permit, ideally their co-op work permit. At the border, most students, when they come into Canada, they would receive two documents. They would receive a study permit and a co-op work permit. Now, the co-op work permit, students will only get it if they are enrolled in a program that has a work requirement. So all students, international students here, check your LOA and see if there is a work requirement. If there is a work requirement, you should have received a co-op work permit in addition to a study permit at the border. Once you have received those, ensure that you bring those along with your passport to our SIN clinics, and you will be able to obtain a social insurance number.
Okay, that's great, thank you. And
No
then
problem,
the last
Sam.
question here, Sebastian, is about pickup services. So when a student first arrives in Canada, are there any pickup services organized through Algonquin that they can request or ask for, or how do they go ahead and arrange that for themselves?
Absolutely. The IAC does offer arrival services. They're free for most of the services included within the package of arrival services. Students have to register for the free arrival services. It can be done directly on our website. There is a web form that they can submit, or they can make the request by email. But the free arrival services would include things like picking you up from the airport, getting you set up with a bank account, getting you set up with initial groceries, that type of thing to cover the first 24, 48 hours at when you first arrive to Canada. Students registered to attend Perth or Pembroke are also covered, but fees and the package might vary a little bit.
Okay, that's great to know. Thank you very much, Sebastian. And again,
Thank you so
folks,
much.
if you are an international student, register for one of those mandatory information sessions. They are super helpful and informative, so go to one of those. All right, folks, so let's hand it over to our next college expert. We're going to go to David from Campus Services. David, over to you.
Hey everybody, David Hall here from Campus Services. Welcome. Looking forward to seeing you in the fall. And Campus Services is a collection of services that you need when you're here on campus. So I'm going to run through a few slides here just to tell you all the things to expect when you get here. And there are a couple things you can do right now to get yourself ready for the fall. So when we say campus services, we see the 5 things that we have on the screen here. So we're going to be talking about food. We're going to be talking about our bookstore. So your course materials, where to order them, how to order them. And I saw a few questions in the chat that I'm going to address regarding Booklist. So don't worry about that one bit. We also have a print shop where you can get your projects and any printing done throughout campus and in our print shop. And then residence and our parking card and lockers operation all run through Campus Services through our team here. So if we move to the next slide, we will start with our card services. So this is a fun one, and you can do this one right now. So during this webinar or right after, step 1 for all of our new students is to upload a photo to a link that is just put in the chat there by my colleague Laura. That's how you get your AC card plus UPass. Now, what does an AC card plus UPass do? So it does a whole host of things. The 2 main things are, 1, it serves as your student card. So your identification, it allows room access, maybe in residence, or if there's a lab in your program. Your meal plan dollars are on that card. To print on campus, you need this card to release your print job. So it's a really, really important card, and you'll be most successful the sooner you get it. So that's one thing that it does, helps you out with your on-campus activity. The other thing that this card does is it serves as your transit pass for eligible students for all bus and train routes in Ottawa and all bus routes across the river in Gatineau, the STO system. So if you really look hard at the card you see on the screen, the front of it's on the left, and the back of it, there's a little bus, which indicates your transit pass there. So step 1 is to upload that photo. Step 2 is to wait for an approval email from our team. We look at every photo, make sure it meets the requirements, and then we send you instructions on how to pick it up. Now, for the remainder of this month, you can pick it up right here on the Ottawa campus. There's signage all around of where to go, and it's really quite quick and easy, especially if you come first thing in the morning. The craziest time to pick it up is on the first day of school. So if you can get to campus before that, please do. You'll save yourself some time. And also, we're giving away $500 to students who collect their cards before the end of this month. So you'll be entered into a draw to win a $500 gift card of AC Cash. So decent prize to get up and get going early. So if we get to the next slide, please. You're never very far away from your next meal or snack or coffee or whatever you need on campus. You'll see the whole host of locations we have here, 7 across campus, plus our friends at the Students Association operate their own. So you're looking at about 10 different food locations across campus, from our Marketplace Food Court, which is really in the heart of campus, which offers everything you could possibly think of, from sushi to salad bar to build your own sandwich and a special hot meal every single day. And then we have a couple of those, local favorites with Tim Hortons and Booster Juice right here on campus. So if you're hungry, you're coming to a great school. Next slide, please. Now, this is the second one that you might be interested in to do today or to look at today. It's our campus store. So we have a large campus store right next to our main dining hall. And this is where you get your AC gear, but also your course materials. So if you need a course uniform or course equipment, and a lot of us will be needing books. So a number of questions already this morning have come in regarding Booklist. How do I get my Booklist? What do I do to get Booklist? So there's a link on the screen here. And I know Laura's going to be putting up another link, and I've shared it a little bit in the Q&A. So this is a customized list of everything you're going to need for this semester as required by your professors. So every professor puts in what students will need. You can browse them on the website and you can order them right there. And our prices are direct from publisher prices. So they're the same as the list price from publishers. And if you buy the digital copy, often it can be just even a little bit cheaper. So we try to build a little bit of that affordability in to order directly through our bookstore. So we've been seeing a couple questions this morning about book lists not working for all of our students. And that's an issue that popped up this morning. So many of our students it's still working for, some it's not. So we have our technical team taking a look at that. So these links are correct. So continue to check on these, maybe give it 24 hours. But what you can do in the meantime, if you really want to check out your book list now, two things have been known to work with this quick issue. One is try an alternative browser. So if you're using Chrome, maybe go to Safari or vice versa. Trying a different device as well. So if you're on your phone, maybe there's a laptop that you can try. And then also some students have found success using incognito mode or the private mode. That can help as well. So give those quick troubleshooting things a chance if you really want to take a look at it today. If not, we do have our technical team working on it. Should be a quick fix, but it is top of mind. So thank you for all the questions about that in the chat. We are working on it. It's nothing you're doing wrong. We're just trying to make it work for everybody. So next slide, please. Printing on campus. So when you come to campus, you'll notice well over 150 printers throughout all of our buildings. And all of our students have essentially 100 black and white copies that they can print out for your classes, whatever you need on that front. The way to do that is you need to get your student card, as I mentioned. You set up your phone or your device to be able to print, and then you just, as the image shows here, you walk up to a printer, you tap your card where it asks you to tap your card, and your print job comes out. So you don't need to worry too much about getting that set up now. On AC day one and throughout the semester, we have a print services team who will be available, who will be out and about to help people get their devices set up, troubleshoot any printing issues you have, and they're brand new printers this year. So we're expecting a good experience for all of our users. Now moving on. The next slide. Some people choose to park on campus. Some choose to use the rapid transit, which is connected to one of our buildings here on campus. But we have many options for parking. We have short term, so as little as an hour to long term, as much as a full year. So if you visit our website, algonquincollege.com/parking, it will go over all of the different options that are available to you. But we also have what we call is our parking options selector. And it asks you a few questions about how often you're going to be on campus. And then it gives you a suggestion on what the most affordable option is for you. So if you're 3 or more days on campus, usually a longer term permit works. If you're 2 or less days on campus, maybe a monthly or a daily permit or purchase will work for you. So we have multiple locations to park in throughout campus. So take a look at the links that Laura's been putting in the chat, and we're happy to answer any questions as well when it comes to parking or accessing the campus through alternative modes of transportation. Next slide, please. Great. So we also have 700 bike spaces on the Ottawa campus. Some are covered. We do have students and employees who bike all year round to campus, which is great. And we also have bicycle repair stations. So your pumps, some tools. If you get to campus, you need to make some tweaks on the way home. And we have that free of charge, of course, on our campus. And you see we have 3 of them listed on this website. Next slide, please. Locker rentals is another great way to store your things while you're here on campus. That coat in the fall, all the books that you might be having, easier to keep them here on campus for $21 per term, rather than lugging them back and forth on the bus, on the train, through the snow. We do offer these locker rentals. It's as easy as visiting that website, algonquincollege.com/lockers, following the prompts that are on the screen, purchasing your locker, and you can buy a locker for $1, 2, or 3 semesters straight. So if you want it for the whole year, $63 for the entire year, and you have the exact same locker for 365 days. So that's a great option, and they really get popular the closer we get to the term. So now is a great time to look into that. Next slide, please. And that's the quick rundown of campus services. We're friendly folks at campus services like everybody at Algonquin. So come find us on AC Day 1. Ask us any questions that you might have, and we wish you the best with your studies. Thank you.
Thank you, David. So next up, we're going to go over to academic success, and Shannon, over to you.
Thank you, Sam. So there are many people and supports available to you during your studies at Algonquin College. Each role has a focus on different types of questions they can help answer. I'll go through some of them now. Next slide, please. Specifically, I'll describe the roles of your academic advisor, your student success specialist, your program coordinator, and the student integration officers like myself. Next slide. Your program coordinator is a faculty member in your program, and they can help with any program-related questions. So for example, if you want to drop a course, you need to understand that there might be impacts to your program moving forward, so they would be the best person to speak with. Next slide. Your student success specialist, or SSS as we like to call them, is there to help identify services that might be useful to you and to help connect you with them. If you need some extra support or are facing some challenges in your studies, reach out to your SSS who can provide you with the resources and referrals to assist you with your learning success. Next slide. Your academic advisor is usually a faculty member in your program and a subject matter expert in your field. They can help you with deciding on your academic goals, help you make a plan to achieve your goals, and discuss options after graduation. If you have questions about your career in the field and your studying, or in your studies, your academic advisor is a great resource to go to. Next slide. Student integration officers like myself can help you with a variety of questions and refer you to the right department if you're just not sure where to turn. You can drop by our office in the basement of C building in room C037, or you can submit your questions online through our website, which I'll share later. Next slide. You may have noticed a course in your Brightspace account, if you've already logged in, called the AC Cafe. You can self-enroll in this course to access lots of information about the activities and supports that are available to support you and help you prepare for the start of classes. While we call it a course, it's not graded. It's not a course in your program, so it's not mandatory. It's just an opportunity for you to find out some of the important information about Algonquin College before you start your semester. Next slide. Just a quick overview of some of the different modules that are available in the AC Cafe, and they really have a broad variety of topics, some of them that my colleagues are talking about today. So Algonquin technology, understanding your timetable, navigating the Ottawa campus, and lots more. Next slide. And one more thing I'll just briefly address is the program orientation. So program orientation is an opportunity for all our level 1 learners that are joining us this fall to learn more about your classes, ask any questions you might have about your program, and meet your professors and classmates. Most regularly scheduled classes are suspended on September 3rd for level 1, and regular classes will begin on September 4th. So you have all day to participate in AC Day 1 activities and attend your program orientation. Now, your program coordinator will contact you with the specific details like location and time for your orientation prior to the start of term. So keep an eye out for that email from them. And you can also check the program orientation website towards closer to the date. It hasn't been populated just yet, but that will happen shortly. And I'll share that in the chat real quick where you'll find that. So it's not there yet, but you'll see that probably next week. Next slide. And thank you so much. So for more information, you can visit our website, which is algonquincollege.com/academic success, or you can email academicsuccess@algonquincollege.com. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Shannon. So folks, I'm going to hand it over to one more of our college experts, and then we're going to take a break for a few questions. So Shalina from Health Services, over to you.
I was just talking and I was muted, but hi everyone, my name is Shalina. I am a representative for health services today, but my actual role is health and wellness education coordinator at the Student Health and Wellness Zone. So next slide, please. So health services is located in C building on room C141 on the first floor. And here's the number to contact them. You can contact them to book an appointment, cancel an appointment, or anything like that. Next slide, please. So at the health services team, what you can find are doctors, nurses, mental health nurse, psychiatry clinic, and then a partnership with the Student Health and Wellness Zone. So the doctors can be there to help you with filling prescriptions, referrals, just regular check-ins. Nurses are there to like draw blood or do some programs require paramed paperwork to be filled out, as well as tuberculosis immunizations and other immunizations, and the nurses are there to be able to help out with that. Next slide, please. So I kind of just covered a little bit about what the health services team can cover, but this goes a little bit further in depth. So it kind of talks about like the urgent care emergencies, general health appointments, medical lab for health tests, mental health and mental illness, and then what our student health and wellness team focuses on. Like I mentioned, just a few other options. So there's a flu shot that can be administered. There's PAP tests, blood tests, STI testing, and then mental health nurse once again. Next slide, please. So this is how to access health services, and this is the same link you can use whether or not you're on GuardMe insurance or a domestic student. So it's important to register as a patient first with health services in order to book an appointment. So by going through that link there, I can later on after I'm done speaking, I'll put the link into the chat. And so you click the link, you register as a patient, and then you can book an appointment online. Or once you've done that, you can also book an appointment through calling the health services team. And then, like I mentioned, immunization appointments. So some programs require immunizations. All the nurses at Algonquin College are well equipped to be able to know what immunizations are needed per program. So I highly recommend getting any of your immunizations or your paperwork completed with the health services. All right, next slide. So now talking about the Student Health and Wellness team / zone, which is located in E building in room E350. Next slide, please. So there's a few different people who are part of this zone. So myself, health promoter / health educator, and there's we have two others, and then we also have group coordinators. So within this space, you'll find that we focus on a few different initiatives, such as Project Lighthouse, which is all about sexual health and sexual violence, practice of safe sex and consensual sex. Then we have Umbrella Project, which is substance use and harm reduction. And we also have Purple Couch, which will be mentioned later on. And then we have Student Health and Wellness Zone, which is our peer support workers that are there in the space to help students with anything that they need throughout the day. And then we focus on 6 pillars of health. We have general health, mental health, sleep, fitness and nutrition, harm reduction, substance use, and sexual health. Next slide, please. So here's the AC Purple Couch, which is known as our mental health initiative here on campus. If you see the Purple Couch out and about, feel free to grab a seat on it and speak what's on your mind. There will be trained peer support workers there with the Purple Couch to be able to listen to anything that's going on and talk through it. And it's just an opportunity to break the stigma of mental health. Next slide, please. A friendly reminder is that Algonquin College is a smoke-free campus. So there are spots off campus that are somewhat close by that you could smoke, but the campus itself is a smoke-free campus. Next slide, please. And here's just some more information here on where to contact and other things like reminder of where health services is, the clinic, the extension. Like I mentioned, Student Health and Wellness Zone is an e-building on the 3rd floor. And I believe that's it. Next slide, please. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shalina. All right, so Shalina, David, and Shannon, I do have a few questions from you folks, if you don't mind. So let's start with David first. David, I know you covered a lot, and folks, I saw a lot of questions about the recording. So I'm just going to drop the link to where this is going to be posted in the coming days. We do have to edit it first, and then we'll post it. So it'll be posted by probably the end of the week. So there's the link there that you can view. So David, let's begin with a couple of questions for you. So can you tell us about the Honk app?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have an app on campus called Honk or Honk Mobile, and you can download it to your smartphone, and it allows students to quickly pay for parking when they're here on campus. Now, this is usually if you're going to buy a daily permit or an hourly permit. So when you get here on campus, there's lots of QR codes around to get you to the right spot. But once you download it, get yourself set up, it makes it really, really easy to pay for parking. So you come in, you park, you open your app, you make your payment. And a really cool thing about this is if you, let's say you put it in for 2 hours and you're in a great study session and you don't want to leave, it'll give you a alert when your time is running out. You can click a couple buttons, extend your parking, no need to worry about a ticket. So it's really proactive that way. And of course, I've got my account set up and it's really quite easy to use.
I always, whenever I use it, David, I just have an anecdote. Whenever I use it, it always gives me like a text message at like 11 p.m. that my parking is running out. And I'm always like, oh, who texted me? And then it's Honk. And I'm like, oh, well, it's nice that it gives a reminder anyways. All right. Thank you, David, for that answer. So let's go to our next question here for you, David. So this one is about the AC card and UPass. So when a student has their AC card and UPass, does that mean that their school materials and the food on campus is free, or do they have to load money onto it? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. So your AC card and plus UPass is one card that you're going to get, and it serves as your student identification card and also your transit pass. So when it comes to course materials and food that you're going to purchase on campus, those are additional purchases that students would do depending on what their course is, what their professors require, and I suppose how hungry they are that day on campus. What you can do, though, is you can either have a meal plan specifically for resident students, or you can load AC cash on your student card. And I do that with my AC card. So whenever I go to one of the food service locations, I tap my AC card, it deducts the total, and it's really quite easy. It's faster than any other card or paying cash, which is really great. And it has a running total online about the balance, so I can keep track of that. Another really cool thing about that is parents. If you have a parent who most parents like to make sure that their kids are fed, they can log into your AC card and they can add money to your account. Now, they won't see what you spend it on. They won't see how much you have left. It's really just a parental deposit or a loved one or a guardian deposit onto your card. So that's a really nice way for folks back home to be able to support their students as well.
Great. Thank you, David. All right. So Shannon, this next question is for you. Can you tell us about how a student should find their information about their program orientation on Easy Day One? I know we get a lot of people show up on Easy Day One and curious about where their program orientation is, how to find it. So where would they find that information?
Yeah, so we will have it posted on the orientation website, and I'm just going to pop the link to that in the chat right now. Now, the room's schedule hasn't quite been finalized yet, so keep an eye out for that in the next week or so. Additionally, your program coordinator is going to email you in just before the start of term, probably in the coming weeks, with specific details about your program orientation time and location. So keep an eye out from your email, your college email from your program coordinator with those details. But additionally, and like I said, I'm going to put it in the chat right now, just keep an eye out for this website, and the locations and times for every program will be listed there.
Cool, thank you, Shannon. And I just want to clarify, folks, too. So for ACE Day 1, which is coming up on Tuesday, September 3rd, we do encourage you to go to your program orientation. That is the most important thing to do on that day. So look at your email, figure out the information about your program orientation, where it's held and what time. Make sure to go to that, and then you can decide either before that or after or whatever you want to do, when to come to campus and participate in all the other ACE Day 1 activities. So the main thing is to go to your program orientation, and then you can decide what you want to do for the rest of the day. The rest of the ACE Day 1 stuff that we have on ACE Day 1 isn't mandatory, but it's just for fun to help you meet the community and get acquainted and learn a lot and have fun. There's lots of activities. So again, just to reiterate, make sure to go to your program orientation and then go to any of the ACE Day 1 activities. You don't have to be there from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. like it's held in your calendar for. Just go to your program orientation and then come to any of the ACE Day 1 activities. All right, so Shalita, I do have a question for you. And this one is about the health clinic. So if a student is feeling sick, they have a headache, or they're just not feeling well, can they just drop into the clinic whenever they want, or do they have to make an appointment?
So they do provide a walk-in clinic most days. It is important to note on their doors, they will have signs sometimes that will say the walk-in clinic is full. So there will be some days that they'll be relatively slower and you can walk in. Just expect it to be like a regular walk-in clinic. The wait times can be long. You're looking at sometimes an hour to 2 hours some days. It all depends on the day. But if you're like noticing that it's prolonged symptoms, I would recommend you like book an appointment. But if it's like an urgent thing that you need to see, then you could do a walk-in, but obviously if it's like really urgent, then go to the emergency room.
Okay, great. Thank you, Shalina. All right, folks, so let's move on here to the Students Association. So Elise, over to you.
Thanks, Sam. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Elise, and I'm a marketing officer at the Students Association. And today I'm going to be filling you in on the services that we have to offer. Next slide. So at the Students Association, our mission is to create an environment that inspires a passion for student success. We are here to help you with anything you might need. Next slide. Here at the SA, we have an elected board of directors made up of full-time students that serve as your voice to the college administration. The board of directors regularly connects with students on campus to learn all about their wants and needs during the time at Algonquin College. Next slide. On this page, you'll find your board of directors for the 2024-2025 year. The board is made up of 5 directors, as well as President Maria and Vice President Josh. Next slide, please. The Student Association puts on several events throughout the year, from large-scale concerts and festivals to monthly bingo nights and more. Keep an eye out on our socials to stay up to date on all our upcoming events. Next slide. The Jack Doyle Athletics and Recreation Center, also known as the ARC, is our newest building on the Ottawa campus. The facility has so many great features, such as a rec and varsity gym, circuit and free weight training, group fitness classes, accessible machinery, a climbing and bouldering wall, and a discovery track, as well as the Wolves Den, a restaurant and games room that includes pool tables, a golf simulator, and 10-pin bowling. Students who are fee-paying members of the SA have full access to all the ARC facilities. All you have to do is complete and submit your one-time waiver. We also have varsity sports such as men's and women's basketball, soccer, volleyball, and rugby. And if you're interested in playing for one of these teams, you can find the coaches' information on our website and contact them directly, or try out for the teams in September. To do that, check out algonquinwolves.com for the exact dates and times. We also offer intramural sports, which are non-competitive sports that you can play against other students. We offer sports like ball hockey, indoor soccer, basketball, volleyball, and open badminton. To learn more about these, you can check out our website under recreation. Next slide. We have lots of great food and drink services on the Ottawa campus. The Wolf's Den is our restaurant located right inside the Arc. Aside from our fresh house-made menu items and an awesome outdoor patio, the Wolf's Den also features the game room, like I mentioned. Once again, don't forget to sign your waiver to use any of the Arc amenities, including the games room. This is where you can reserve pool tables, the golf simulator, and 10-pin bowling lanes. We also own and operate a Starbucks on campus located in the student commons if you're looking for a treat or caffeine kick before or after class. And lastly, the observatory, which is located in A170, is reopening for the fall term on August 26th. This is your one-stop shop for delicious food, board games, and fun events. And it's also an excellent place to join your classmates for lunch in between classes or attend a student event like pub trivia. All of these Student Association food located locations accept your student meal plan, which is really awesome. Next slide, please. So a great way to get involved on campus is to become a class representative. Class reps are students from each program who bring academic concerns forward to our board of directors, so it's a super important job. You can also elevate your student experience with clubs and communities. We have a large number of clubs that all students are welcome to. You can find your passion or bring one to life right here on campus. To learn more about that, stop by the club space to hang out with friends, make new ones, play games, and more. Next slide, please. We offer many different services on campus. The Food Cupboard is a discreet and confidential support service that provides students who are experiencing financial difficulty with food and other basic necessities. We also oversee the student health plan for all our full-time domestic students. This plan covers dental care, prescription care, vision care, mental health support, and more. Plan details can be found online at algonquinsa.com. We also can provide funding for students looking to host graduation parties or to bring in guest speakers. In addition to this, we also have a number of different meeting and silent study rooms on campus that you can reserve. Next slide, please. So the Algonquin Commons Theatre is our 800-person theater located on the Ottawa campus. The theater hosts many different types of shows, from musicals, comedians, concerts, and even dance shows. Some past acts include Kip Moore, Letterkenny, Nelly, and more. Next slide, please. Pembroke campus has a fitness zone, a 2-story rock climbing wall, a gymnasium offering the same intramural sports as Ottawa, and also the Landing, which is our licensed lounge on campus that is also used as an event space. Next slide, please. And the Perth campus has a fitness center and similar services offered on the Ottawa campus as well. Next slide. So if you're looking for a job on campus, look no more. The Students Association is hiring. We offer a great work environment and flexible hours that work around your schedules. There are many opportunities to grow, and for some positions, you can even earn your placement hours while you work. For more information on how to apply, visit algonquinsa.com/jobs. Next slide, please. So make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube to get the fastest information about Algonquin SA events, updates, job opportunities, and more. Next slide, please. And if you're a Perth or Pembroke student, be sure to follow the campus-specific accounts as well, which you can see there on the slide. And that's it for us. Thanks so much for your time, and best of luck at your school year.
Thank you, Elise. That was great. All right, folks, we have one last college expert before we'll answer some more questions. So Alexis, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Sam. So my name is Alexis Ganordina, and I'm representing the Experiential Learning and Innovation Division here today. So I'll begin with the Co-op and Career Center. This is what we consider the core of career development. Here, we're committed to transforming your academic experiences into a real-world career adventure. Use HireAC, our proprietary career app platform, to access all of our services in one place. Still talk about career readiness workshops. These workshops empower learners through their career journey with an array of engaging topics. This initiative ensures that students are thoroughly prepared for the professional world, providing them with the skills to network with industry experts and gain valuable insights into their future careers. We also host a series of recruitment events through the academic year, which provides students and alumni with valuable opportunities to meet industry professionals, gain insights into their fields of interest, and explore various career paths. Our upcoming annual career fair is scheduled for February 4th, 2025 in the beautiful Dare District. Once you're on campus, you'll see more opportunities about how to register for this exciting event. Next, I'll talk about our Entrepreneurship Center, which provides students with the opportunity to turn business concepts into a reality during their co-op work terms. Using this center, you'll receive dedicated support and expertise from mentors in the center, and you can fully immerse yourselves in developing and potentially launching your own business venture. Next up, we have applied research, where you could expand your educational journey beyond the classroom through engaging in real-world challenges. By connecting with the Applied Research Office, students can explore a realm of new possibilities, including research assistant positions that provide opportunities for hands-on experience beyond the classroom. And finally, we have the Makerspace, which is an innovative environment where students can bring their ideas to life. Makerspace technicians are skilled in a variety of equipment using 3D printers, laser cutters, a vinyl plotter, electronic station, and more. And any questions about these opportunities or the services we provided, I'm happy to answer them.
All right, that was great. Thank you very much, Alexis. And I just want to say, folks, that the Makerspace is a very cool place on campus. So if you're interested in making any projects or using some cool technology to make things, definitely go check out the Makerspace because they have some really cool stuff over there. All right, everyone. So we have gone through all of our college experts. Again, I know that was a lot of information and I know it's overwhelming. So this was being recorded and we are going to post it on the AC Hub on-demand webpage in the coming days. So again, I'll post that link in the chat for you in a moment. But for now, we are going to go back and answer a few questions here before we wrap up. So to begin here, I have a lot of questions for campus services, David. So if you don't mind, David, I have a few for you again. So David, this one is about ebooks. So when a student buys their ebooks, where do they access them? Do they get sent to their phone or computer? Like, where do they get their ebooks after they buy them?
That is a great question. We have Stephen Keenan on the phone, who works directly with the course materials, CMS, and he has way more expertise than I do on those specific details. So, Stephen, if you wouldn't mind popping the camera on, opening the mic, and thank you for taking that for me, because I know it's pretty detailed, and thank you for your expertise.
Well, thank you. Basically, there are two ways to access your e-text. One is through the college-approved e-reader called Texidium. That is available through your app store, whether you have an Android or an iPhone. The other one is through a publisher code, and instructions to access that will be in your Brightspace. So when you purchase something either in store or online, you'll get the receipt, and then you will also get the instructions. And it'll say something like, go to texidium.com, create an account, and then the access code is on that the piece of paper that you get either in store or if you order it online. And like I said, the other one is a publisher code, and your instructor should give you instructions in Brightspace on how to access it. And I think that's it.
All right, thank you very much, Stephen. So David, another one for you, or this might be a health services, I'm not quite sure, but this one is about physio and chiropractic clinic on campus. I know we do have a physio clinic on campus. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about that and how students can maybe access that if they need it?
Yeah, sure. So we have a Pro Physio location right here on campus. It's in our student commons, and it operates very similar to any other off-campus Pro Physio location. So they do take clients. They take internal, external clients. You can have your account there, And it's really convenient for our students. If you're coming into campus, you can have the services provided there. So Sam, what I can do is I can grab the link, we can fire it in the chat. But the answer is yes, we have ProPhysio right here on campus.
Cool. Thank you very much, David. All right, David. And lastly, one more question for you while you're here. And I know you're just grabbing that link for us, so thank you for doing that. This one is about AC card and UPass. Lots of questions about that. Someone was asking about their photo. I know it says passport size photo, but can you just take it on your phone, or do they need to go to like Shoppers to get a passport photo taken? Like, what kind of photo do they actually need?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think it says passport style photo. So what we really mean by that is something that's professional, where there is a white background and no baseball hats, sunglasses, making a silly face, any of those things. Feel free to smile, look directly into the camera. We need to see your face, and that should work just fine. So if it's a white background, nobody else should be in the photo as well. It's not a cropped group shot. And it really is just the top head and shoulders here. So you can do it on your phone. You can have a friend do it for you. It's really quite straightforward. So grab yourself a selfie, pick the one you like, and upload it. And the specific requirements are in the app where you use to upload it. So folks should have a pretty simple time. You don't need to go get a special photo taken.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. I love that we can just do the selfie now. Yeah, you can get your good lighting, your good face, it's much easier.
Awesome.
All right. So this one is for the Students Association. So Elise, I'll just grab you here for a second. All right. So Elise, this is about the gym. So if a student is starting in September and they have their AC card already, can they start going to the gym whenever, or do they need to wait for the start of term?
Yeah, they can start as soon as they are enrolled, so they can start now. They just have to make sure that they sign the waiver, which they can do online. They can also do it right in the front of the gym if you want, but it'll be much faster if they do it online beforehand.
Okay, great to know. And then also we had a question about sports teams. So I know that fall there's a lot of varsity sports teams. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, so we have, like mentioned before, women's and men's soccer, rugby, basketball, and volleyball starting in the fall. And each of them will have open tryouts in September. And all of those dates can be found on the varsity website, which is algonquinwolves.com. It lists out all of like the dates and times, locations for everyone to go and try out.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Elise.
No problem.
All right, so Gary from ITS, I'm going to grab you now, Gary, for some questions about some tech items. There we are. All right, so Gary, this one is about the Bring Your Own Device program. So Gary, can you tell us what that means and how a student knows what device they need for their program?
Yes, so a Bring Your Own Device program means that you need to have your own laptop or any other equipment that is needed for your program. We have a website with the different programs that is available for this semester. And once you find the program that you're in, click on that link and they'll list a requirement for all the different requirements for your laptop and any other additional materials that you need. I can post that in the chat. Okay,
that's great. Thank you, Gary. And say, Gary, they are in a program that requires a specific type of software. Do they have to buy that software, or does that come with the program?
So it depends on the type of software that is required. Some of the software is provided by ITS, such as Adobe and Microsoft Office. For Microsoft Office, all you have to do is sign to office.com and then install Office 365. For Adobe, you would need to send an email to ITS for requesting the access to Adobe, or if it's a software that is required for the whole class, the instructor should send their list of the different students in their class to ITS, and then we'll add them all at the same time. And the other softwares should be available on Brightspace. your instructor should have a list of what kind of softwares that you need. Once you have that, if you need help installing it, you can come to ITS and we can help you install those.
Okay, thank you very much, Gary. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the RO here. So I believe that was Brandon from the RO. All right, Brandon. So I've got a question for you about OSAP. So can you tell us, first of all, what OSAP is, and if a student needs OSAP, how they should go about applying for it?
Yeah, so OSAP is government student loans. They can come in two forms. One being a loan, which you pay back at the end of your studies, and one a grant, which you don't pay back as long as you perform well academically. You can apply for it through the Ontario government webpage. There is a link with there's like a walkthrough link on the Algonquin College website if you go over to the financial aid section. And also if you go under the financial aid contact page, there is a schedule of when we're offering in-person clinics for students to come complete their application in person and get some help from one of the financial aid officers.
Okay, that's excellent. Thank you very much, Brandon.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, and I'm going to hand it over now to Sebastian from the International Education Center. So Sebastian, I'll grab you for this question. There you are,
Yes.
Sebastian. There you are. All right, so Sebastian, can you tell us about events for international students and the community in that International Education Center? I know you guys do have a very tight community over there, so can you tell us more about that and how international students can kind of become part of the International Education Center and where they should follow you on Instagram and all of that jazz?
Absolutely. The first step that, or what I would recommend at first is for international students to download ISENTAP. Through ISENTAP, all international students can see our upcoming events. They will get reminders maybe once a week on events that are happening throughout the week. So that will be the first step. Through ISENTAP, they can also access our events calendar. The events calendar will show all of our events that are happening within the next month or so. In addition, international students will receive a newsletter delivered every 2 weeks to their email, which will show different activities, plans, social events, everything that's happening for international students. And lastly, one of our team members, Leah Grimes, our intercultural programming support officer, she leads all of our plans in regards to social events. So that will be, or she will be a great person to connect from our team with this. And lastly, to close, for all international students here, we will be having our new International Student Social, which is our main social event that is happening at the end of this month, in which all new international students are welcome. They'll meet Leah, they'll meet the rest of our team, and learn a little bit more about all of the services that we offer.
Awesome, that's great to know. Thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you, Sam.
All right, so folks, I believe that is all the questions we're going to answer for the time being. I know you do have a lot left to ask, but again, we are all here to help you and all here to support you. So please reach out directly to all of the departments that you have questions for. Specifically, it is a very busy time of year, so please be patient, but we are here to help you and we will get back to you and answer your questions. This event was being recorded again, so you can access it on the ACF On Demand webpage in the coming days. We are so excited, folks, to welcome you to Algonquin College. Thank you again for attending today. And I just want to remind you about ACE Day 1. So ACE Day 1 is coming up on Tuesday, September 3rd. So in a couple of weeks from now, it's coming up very fast. So again, just to reiterate, please go to your program orientation. You can find all of that information in your student email. So get that information from your program coordinator from your email, and then you can kind of build your schedule out from there. So you can decide what you want to do for the rest of the day. We haven't started promoting ACE Day 1 yet, so you won't be able to see the schedule of everything that's happening quite yet, but that should be out in the next couple of days as well. So go to your program orientation on ACE Day 1 and then join us for whatever else you would like to do that day. Stuff is happening all over campus, so there's not a shortage of things to do. And then folks, I just want to remind you to please do your sorry, if you need to register for ACE Day 1, I will drop that into the chat now. Here's the link where you can learn more about it and then register as well. So I'll just put that here for you folks right there. There we go. So make sure to register and check that out for all the information. And then also, just before we wrap up here, please don't forget to visit algonquincollege.com/orientation to complete your online prep before the first day of the semester. So that'll kind of walk you through some of the things you need to do before the first day of school. And here I'll drop that into the chat for you as well, so you have that just right here. So do that online prep before the first day of school. All right, everyone. So just to say again, this was being recorded and will be available to watch in the coming days. And again, we thank you all very, very much for participating today. And we can't wait to welcome you to Algonquin College on Tuesday, September 3rd, our first day of school. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.